Hi everyone, in this video lecture we will look into preparation of aldehydes and ketones from other organic compounds. Other organic compounds like alcohols, carboxylic acids and hydrocarbons. Right? So first we'll look into the preparation of aldehydes and ketones from alcohols, from primary alcohols and secondary alcohols. And the important thing you need to note in these reactions is reagent, right? What reagent we are using, because it's reagent that can alter the rate of reaction, or it can even limit the rate of reaction, or it can limit the reaction. We'll see that how it does that. Right, so from alcohols would be oxidized, right, to primary alcohols would be oxidized to aldehydes. Secondary alcohols, that is 2-degree alcohols, would be oxidized to ketones, right? So CH3OH, right, in presence of oxidizing agents like potassium dichromate, acidified potassium dichromate, or acidified KMnO4, right, or alkaline or aqueous KMnO4. This 1-degree alcohol, methanol is a 1-degree alcohol, in presence of acidified K2Cr2O7 or alkaline KMnO4, right? This would be oxidized. When we say oxidized, the number of hydrogen atoms would be reducing. You can remember it that way, right? So it will form HCHO. This is your formaldehyde, right? Similarly, if we take CH3CH2OH, right, this is your ethanol. So ethanol with K2Cr2O7 or KMnO4 will form CH3CHO. So basically this is your primary alcohol group, CH2OH, right? So in this reaction, CH2OH will get oxidized to CHO, right? Your hydrogen atom has reduced. Removal of hydrogen atom is basically your oxidation, right? So your primary alcohol is getting reduced to an aldehyde group. This is what we are doing here. Now let's look at secondary alcohols, right? Secondary alcohols or 2-degree alcohols, as I said, will give you ketones on oxidation with these reagents. We know that secondary alcohols means secondary alcohols contains a secondary carbon atom. And what is a secondary carbon atom? A carbon atom which is connected to 2 other carbon atoms, right? If a carbon atom is directly connected to 2 other carbon atoms, it's a secondary alcohol. So this alcohol, right, since it is directly connected to 2 carbon atoms of these methyl groups, this is a secondary alcohol, and it contains this group, CHOH group. Now here the CHOH group will get oxidized, right, to form this ketone group. So here your CHOH group is oxidized to CO, right, and here also H2 was removed, here also H2, 2 atoms of hydrogen were removed to give you a ketone group, right? So this is simple. Now there is one challenge in these reactions when you are using reagent as potassium dichromate or KMnO4. The challenge is that in these aldehydes, the aldehydes that get formed here will get oxidized further. It will continue the oxidation reaction. If this reaction mixture is left, right, then it will oxidize to acetic acid, right? These aldehydes formed from 1-degree alcohols will further oxidize to your carboxylic acids, right? So that should not happen, because our aim is to prepare alcohols, but here alcohols are getting oxidized to your alcohol is oxidized to aldehyde, and then aldehyde, if this reaction mixture is left like this, will get oxidized to carboxylic acid. So this should be prevented. This can be prevented, right? One thing you can do is As soon as this aldehyde will get formed, you distill the reaction and you maintain the temperature of the reaction, right? And the other way you can do is you can use some other reagent. There are some different reagents available for this reaction that will selectively oxidize these alcohols to aldehydes. It will not continue the reaction further to carboxylic acid, right? There are some reagents, I'm just writing down the name here. The reagents are your Sarret reagent. Just remember the name of these reagents. Sarret reagent that contains, Sarret reagent is 1:1 complex of pyridine, 1:1 complex of chromium trioxide and pyridine, right? 1:1 complex of chromium trioxide and pyridine, right? Now if you use this Sarret reagent in this reaction, it will oxidize it till aldehyde stage, right? This alcohol will get oxidized to aldehyde stage, but there is one problem with this reagent, that it is difficult to separate aldehyde from this complex, right? So what we do is we modify this Sarret reagent, right, and add, or what we do is we modify this Sarret reagent and take this complex, right, 1:1 complex mixture in a solvent, methylene dichloride, right? That way it would not be difficult to remove or to separate product which is aldehyde, right, from the reaction mixture. And when we modify it by adding this chromium oxide and C6H5N pyridine in methylene dichloride, we will call it as a Collins reagent, right? So Collins reagent, it's a 1:1 mixture of CrO3.C6H5N in methylene dichloride, a neutral solvent, right? So there's a little difference in the two, and your Collins reagent is the modified form of Sarret reagent, right? And why we modified it? We modified it because the product is difficult to separate from this 1:1 complex mixture. There is another reagent known as Corrèze reagent, right? Corrèze reagent is actually 1:1 mixture of chromium trioxide, C6H5Cn, then you have HCl, right? Then you have another PCC, we call it as pyridinium chlorochromate, right? So these are some of the important reagents, right? And the formula for this is C5H5NH plus, right? And since you have chromate is, we know that Cr2O7 2 minus, right? It would be Cr2O7 2 minus. This is the formula for PCC, pyridinium chlorochromate. And all these reagents, right, all these reagents will oxidize 1 degree alcohols to till your aldehyde stage only. It will not oxidize aldehyde to the carboxylic acids, right? So remember this. And your 2 degree alcohols, like this was your 2 degree alcohols, it will also oxidize till your acetone, right? And there is one more benefit of using these reagents. It is that if you want to prepare an unsaturated aldehyde, right? To prepare unsaturated aldehyde, the oxidizing agent, unsaturated aldehyde means it contains a double bond, right? So this unsaturated aldehyde should be prepared in such a way that the double bond is not affected, right? So we use these reagents will not affect the double bond, right? So you can prepare unsaturated aldehydes also. Let's see one equation. This is your alcohol, right? In presence of any of these reagents, your double bond would not be affected. It will change to, it will change to P2. This is an OH, right? With this group, so it will change to ketone, and your double bond is not affected. It remains as it is. Now there are two more reagents. One is Jones reagent, and the other is manganese dioxide that we use, active manganese dioxide. So let's see what is this Jones reagent. Jones reagent is also used to prepare unsaturated aldehydes, right? Because Jones reagent will also not affect your double bonds or triple bonds, right? So Jones reagent is basically, it's a solution of chromium trioxide in sulfuric acid, right, in aqueous acetone. Solution of CrO3 in H2SO4, right? You take this in aqueous acetone, right? This is your Jones reagent, right? And Jones reagent also oxidizes your 1 degree alcohol to your aldehydes, right? It will not continue oxidizing it to carboxylic acid, but if you take Jones reagent in excess, then it will oxidize your aldehydes to carboxylic acids, right? And it does not affect, important, does not affect double or your triple bonds, right? So we can prepare unsaturated aldehydes, right? Let me just show you allylic alcohol. You can prepare allylic aldehydes and benzylic aldehydes, right? We know that allylic and benzylic contain your double bonds, right? If we take allyl alcohol, because alcohols will oxidize to aldehydes, your CH2 double bond CH, right? This is your CH2OH, CH2 double bond CH, CH2. This is your allylic alcohol. This allylic alcohol will oxidize, right, in presence of Jones reagent, where this CH2OH will only oxidize into CHO, and this double bond won't be affected. So this is your unsaturated alcohol, which with Jones reagent will give you an unsaturated aldehyde. CH2 double bond CH CHO will give you this compound, right? And this is your, you call it as acrolein. Acrolein, right? You can see some other examples also, right? And there is another, there is one more reagent. That reagent is your active manganese dioxide, active MnO2, right? Active MnO2 will also oxidize these unsaturated alcohols to unsaturated aldehydes, right? These. So I hope this is clear. This is important actually, right? So just remember, important thing here is just remember the name of these reagents, right, and what they contain, right? And if you want to oxidize, if you want to prepare unsaturated aldehydes, then what reagent will you use? Because remember always that this KMnO4 and K2Cr2O7 will oxidize the aldehyde to further to carboxylic acid if left, if the reaction mixture is left. Right, now let's quickly look into the preparation from one famous reaction, which is your Oppenauer reaction, right, which is a way to prepare ketones from secondary alcohols, right? So your secondary alcohols will be oxidized using aluminium tertiary butoxide, right? So here we will be using Oppenauer reaction. This is important name reaction. open Euler reaction. Right, in this what you do is you take 2-degree alcohol, right, with 2-degree alcohol with acetone. Right, in presence of aluminium tertiary butoxide. Right, this is an open Euler oxidation reaction, right, where you take acetone with 2-degree alcohol, right, and this, we know that 2-degree alcohols, it's aluminium tertiary butoxide, it's 3, right, this AlCH whole 3, then O, then 3, right. So this 2-degree alcohol will oxidize into your acetone, right. This will oxidize at the expense of this. When this will oxidize, this will reduce, right, and that will reduce into isopropyl alcohol, right. What it will form is, since this is oxidized, hydrogens were removed, and this will then reduce CHOH, and this is your, it will form, acetone will convert into isopropyl alcohol, right. So this is your isopropyl alcohol, right, and this is your acetone, right. I hope this is clear. Now the other way you have is by catalytic dehydrogenation of alcohols, right. So we know these ways, right. Second was open Euler oxidation, then we have catalytic hydrogenation. Catalytic hydrogenation of alcohols. If you know hydrogenation, dehydrogenation, not hydrogenation, it's catalytic dehydrogenation. Dehydrogenation, is removal of hydrogen, right? So in the presence of catalyst, dehydrogenation is removal of hydrogen in presence of a catalyst, right. So if you take this alcohol, in the presence of catalyst, this hydrogen will get removed, right, and it will convert into an aldehyde. Same is with 2-degree alcohols, right. So you do it in the presence of copper, heated copper, right, reduced copper at 573 kelvins. Right. So these are simple reactions where you take the CH3, CH2OH, right. Vapors of ethanol would be passed over reduced copper or heated copper at 573 kelvins, where this alcohol will get reduced into CH3CHO, right. This is 1-degree alcohol, and if you take 2-degree alcohol, for example isopropyl alcohol, if you pass the vapors of isopropyl alcohol over heated copper, right, it will form acetone. Copper 573 kelvins. It will convert into, this will get oxidized to an acetone group. Like here, this CH2OH was oxidized to CHO. It will form CH3, form CH3. This is your acetone, right. I hope till this point it is clear. Now we'll look into carboxylic acids, how to prepare aldehydes and ketones from carboxylic acids. What we do is we do dry distillation of calcium formate, right, where calcium formate will give you formaldehyde, or dry distillation of any other calcium salt of fatty acid, calcium salt of fatty acid will give you a symmetrical ketone. Whereas if you do dry distillation of any salt or fatty acid with calcium formate, it will give you aldehyde. Just remember it this way. Right, let me just rub this off first, then we'll just look into the reactions. Just remember these alcohol open oil reaction and catalytic dehydrogenation. Then you have these all reagents. Just remember the name of these reagents. These are important. So now let's see how to prepare aldehydes and ketones from your carboxylic acids. Right? We do dry distillation of calcium salts or fatty acids. Right? So from dry distillation of calcium salts of fatty acids. Right? We know calcium is divalent. Right? So if we take calcium formate, right, HCOO, this is your calcium formate. On dry distillation, a molecule of calcium carbonate will get removed like this. Right? And the remaining molecule is HCHO plus calcium carbonate. Right? And if you do dry distillation, this is your dry distillation of calcium formate alone, it gives you formaldehyde. If you do dry distillation of calcium formate along with any other salt, calcium salt or fatty acid, it will give you an aldehyde. Right? So let's look at one of the reactions. Say you take CH3COO, right, calcium acetate, diacetate, then you have your calcium formate. Right? Calcium formate. What it will form is, again, on dry distillation, calcium carbonate will get removed like this. Right? So CaCO3, CaCO3. Two molecules of calcium carbonate will get removed, plus what you get is the remaining molecule is your CH3. It forms aldehyde. Right? It will form an acetaldehyde. CH3, then you have CHO. Right? So you have two molecules of CH3, CHO. Right? So whenever you have calcium formate, right, plus calcium salt of any fatty acid, here we have taken calcium acetate, calcium salt of any fatty acid, what you will get is an aldehyde. Right? So there are three cases. Alone calcium formate will give you formaldehyde. Calcium formate along with any calcium salt of any fatty acid will give you an aldehyde. If you do dry distillation of calcium salt of any other fatty acid except formaldehyde, it will give you a symmetrical ketone. Right? Let me show you with one example. Like if we take calcium acetate, like this, on dry distillation it will remove a molecule of calcium carbonate. Remember, always calcium carbonate will get removed. CH3, CH3. This is your acetone, right? So if you do dry distillation of calcium salt of any fatty acid, you will get a symmetrical ketone. This is a symmetrical ketone. Let's take another example. Let's take CH3 calcium propionate, right? CH3 CH2 COO, CH3 CH2 COO, right? It will remove calcium carbonate, CH3 CH2 CH3 CH2, right? This is your pentanol, right? I hope this is clear. Now let's see whether this reaction is useful or not, right? This reaction is useful or not. It is not useful, right? This reaction is not useful. Why? Because here you get a mixture. If you heat, if in this case you get a mixture wherein you get acetone also, some you get, in this case you get formaldehyde and then you get acetaldehyde, so you get mixture of compounds, right? So it's difficult to separate them, right? That is why this reaction is not of much use, right? Whereas this is of use because here you are getting only pure formaldehyde, right? But this kind of reaction is not of much use because you are getting a mixture of products that need separation, right? Like dry distillation of this reaction, calcium formate and calcium acetate, it will give you acetaldehyde, acetone and formaldehyde, right? Similarly, dry distillation of calcium acetate, if you do calcium acetate and calcium propionate, it will give you butanol, acetone and 3-pentanol, right? So you are getting mixture of compounds that need separation. That is why this reaction is not of much use, right? So now let's quickly look at the other way of preparing aldehydes from your aldehydes from your carboxylic acids. What you do is you pass vapors of carboxylic acids, right, over manganese dioxide, right, wherein it gives you aldehyde. Let's look at the reaction. If you pass vapors of, say, HCOOH plus HCOOH, MnO2, right, at 573 kelvins. One OH will from here, right? From here, HCOO from here and OH from here. So what you get is water plus CO2 plus HC, one H from here, HCHO, right? Then if you pass the vapors of acetic acid, you get acetaldehyde, and if you pass vapors of acetic acid, CH3COOH, and formic acid, along with formic acid. Here we have passed vapors of formic acid, so we have got formaldehyde. If we pass vapors of formic acid along with acetic acid, what we will get is an acetaldehyde, right, like this. You get CH3 H from this formic acid. Because of formic acid, HCOO will be removed, and from here OH, right? So you get CH3CO